Hey, it's me, Kyle Woodward, the beer ambassador, talking about the world of craft beer here on KUCI and other places every Tuesday at 5. I'm actually sitting in the tasting room of Last Name Brewing Company in Upland, California. And I'm sitting, if you're watching this on YouTube, which you can do, by the way, then you're going to see everybody who's in the screen. But I've got Andy behind my shoulder, who's one of the owners and co-founders. And then we have Ryan, the brewer, and Spencer, who's in marketing. And next to me is my really good friend from Stella Davina, and her name is Sarah. She goes by SJ as well. And the reason we're on the show today and having all of them together, so they're going to rotate in and out on the show, is that they're talking about the festival that's coming up this weekend called Local Global Flavor. How do you say that?
Global Flavor.
I don't know. I'm going to get everything wrong. So you just Global Flavor. I think it's when I see the flyer, it says local.
It says taste local,
taste local, taste global. I think that throws me off a little bit. So Global Flavor Festival, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to start with you, Sarah, and get going. And if the guys want to stay here or come back, we're going to rotate it in and out. And
we'll be back.
Cool. So tell us, first of all, you've been on the show before and we talked on how you started with Stella Davina and you had this idea. And put that in a nutshell really quick, how you got started with Stella Davina.
So I've been doing Stella Davina coasters for about 8 years now, and I actually came up with the idea because my mom's best friend, she was a big craft beer lover. She was a home brewer, so was my mom,
Yeah.
and she saved all of her bottles for many different special occasions, and she wanted to do something with the labels, and so I took all of her bottles that were important to her one year, and I peeled all the labels off, and I made her coasters for Christmas, and so I made her about 70 different craft beer label coasters, and so it was like a super good hit as a Christmas gift, and that's where it started 8 years ago. And then since then I've gone on to do this full time. I make coasters for various breweries. My coasters are here at Last Name Brewing. You can get them at Avery Brewing in Colorado and Trogs in Pennsylvania. So it's been pretty cool that just turned from a creative idea to do something nice for somebody to a niche market of handmade art that is incorporating your favorite beer labels and something that you use every day.
Yeah, it's quality stuff. It's really quality stuff. So let's jump or leapfrog actually from Stella Davina. You had this idea. You do festivals all the time, like I do festivals all the time, and then you decided, I want to kind of put my hat in the ring and do an idea for a festival.
I think you and I have some of the best ideas because you and I see festivals every day, so we know all the best stuff that's going out there.
And we've talked about all this for a long time.
We chat all the time about, I saw this here and you saw that there, and so I do a lot of stuff with event planning committees on different chambers of commerce and stuff. So I do stuff with Village Venture. I also do stuff with there's a new brew and barbecue coming up at Rancho Santa Ana Botanic Garden in January. So I do a lot of event planning stuff, and so I find myself here helping Priceless Pets and a couple other nonprofits put together this really fascinating fundraising event that's going to be bringing a lot of people to historic downtown Pomona, which is a really cool spot that many people haven't been to since back in the day.
So I'm excited about that. So then that kind of steamrolled into doing the global.
Yeah, so basically, Global Flavor, it's like a taste your way around the world experience, and so you can try food, beer, and wine from different countries, and so it's not just like a beer fest where it's your typical, like there's a lot of tents and just different beers to try. There's also food incorporated, which I'm really excited about.
I'm excited about that
Very
too.
Excited.
So you're gonna have like beer, unlimited beer, wine, and food.
Yeah, exactly. And so the idea behind what you were talking about earlier, the taste local, taste global, the idea is to be able to try, international foods that are made in local restaurants in your backyard. So you can try something new without even leaving town.
I love it. I mean, it's awesome. So you got this whole thing going together. So now it's going to be this Saturday in downtown historic Pomona. Is that correct?
Exactly, yeah. So this Saturday, the event's going to be taking place from 12 p.m. to 4 p.m. in historic downtown Pomona. It's in the Antiques District, which is a really cool area. There's a lot of cool historic buildings and storefronts in the area, and it has like a very cool vibe with brick buildings, things like that, murals on the wall. And it's going to be really fun because it's like a taste your way around the world experience. So we have Ethiopian food, we have tamales, we have Eritrean food, there's going to be vegan Mexican food, there's going to be all kinds of interesting different restaurants. There's food collaborations going on as well. Blender had ice cream out of Orange County. They're actually going to be making a Pomona Queen ice cream, especially for the event.
I want to try that one for sure.
It's going to be so good. Did you try your Pomona Queen beer yet?
I didn't. I was going to kind of wait.
Later, well, when you try it, you can think about how it's going to be as an ice cream.
Yeah, I will.
So that's going to be a really cool collaboration. There's going to be handmade artists, so I'll be there with my coasters. We have different handmade artists from Pomona and Claremont and the surrounding area that do different kinds of, there's a women's fashion, there's going to be dog related stuff. Priceless Pets is, let me give you guys a little bit of the background. So the nonprofits are Priceless Pet Rescue, which is based in Claremont. There's the YWCA of the San Gabriel Valley, the Friends of the Pomona Library, and the Pomona Valley Art Association. So
cool.
The 4 different nonprofits, they each have like someone from their group doing collaboration with, marketing and event stuff. And so Priceless Pets, they're going to be bringing their animals that are up for adoption out to the event to meet all of the guests.
Awesome.
So how fun. You can be drinking beer, drinking wine, and hanging out with a bunch of animals.
Yeah, you might take one home. Yeah, that's cool. That works out as a good concept.
Yeah.
So it's going to be this Saturday, the 22nd of September, from noon to 4. And you guys need to come and check it out. And there's, like I said, is it 30 plus breweries?
There's going to be a mix of breweries, wineries. There's gin. There's going to be, hopefully, we might even get some meat in. I'm still waiting to hear back on some people that haven't gotten back quite yet. But
that's
there's
okay.
Some definite.
Well, you're going to have basically what you're saying is there's an array of drinking pairings, right? So you can decide, and this is good for couples who sometimes people don't like beer, they like wine. You can try it, or if you want a little. Maybe a little shot before you start getting into your beer or whatever.
Exactly. And there's going to be really fun pairings going on. Like, for example, the Rookery Ale House in Pomona.
Yeah.
They have a historic storefront in the downtown. Very cool. I mean, this building has all the original stuff out of the 1880s. Really cool spot. They are going to be pairing up different foods to match with different beers. So they're doing like a really cool food pairing, and that's going to be like all unlimited samplings as well. So that's going to be really fun. There's also another cool collaboration on the Rescue Brewing. They're also out of Upland.
Yes.
They make dog treats out of their spent grains. So they're going to be bringing all their dog treats out. So,
nice.
The dogs from Priceless Pets and from the Rescue can have some spent grain dog treats.
So there's basically it's all the family. It sounds like it'll be a pet-friendly atmosphere as well, right? So people
you can't bring the dogs.
Oh, you can't bring them.
Just
you can take them. Don't bring them, but you can take them.
Exactly.
Okay, that's what I was trying to get
home
at.
a new friend.
Okay.
Yeah. Hopefully in future years it will be dog friendly, but this year just the Priceless Pets.
Well, this is an inaugural, and you guys are kind of finding your feet and what's going to be happening. So
it's going to be
that's
really
cool.
exciting. I'm excited about these collaborations between many different local businesses, breweries, restaurants. I mean, so many places have come up with great ideas. We have restaurants from downtown Pomona. There's a new place called Fuego, and they are Cuban Mexican fusion. They're going to be participating. So there's going to be just a lot of really cool things to check out. I'm really excited.
That's awesome. I know that I'm just excited for you because this has been you and I had a similar idea for some fests, and we talked about it, and then you made this happen, and I just have to take my hat off to you. I'll do that on camera. that you were able to take a concept and make it happen, and I hope that it goes on for many years.
It's good to have friends like you, because when we have friends like you, it's good because then you always have friends that you can bounce ideas off of, go to for advice and feedback. So I think when we have good people like this in our lives, it's really you can make things happen when you have people that want to hear about your ideas and help you make them better. So I have to thank you too for always supporting my ideas. Anytime I call you, ask you about beers, posters, festivals, you've always been definitely a big supporter.
Yeah. Well, thank you for the compliment, but I love that you're a good friend there and that kind of idea, and that you found old and new friends through this whole festival, right?
Absolutely,
All kinds of support.
It's just amazing how many different people come together, and I mean, Last Name Brewing, we've been friends for many years. They were my first coaster customer when I moved to California.
Oh, I wasn't aware of that.
Coast. Yeah. So
oh, wow.
We've had a relationship for at least 6 years. I've been in California 6 years now, so it's pretty cool. And then there's a lot of different chamber people involved as well. A lot of interesting volunteers from the nonprofits. So we've met a lot of different people, and a lot of people have met each other that wouldn't necessarily have met each other. So I'm really excited about all these just different collaborations that have happened.
Awesome. So we're going to talk about it later, but I want to mention it now since you guys have been listening in this part of the show, that if you want to get tickets, where can they get tickets
You
at?
can get tickets online at globalflavorfest.com.
I'm going to get that down, globalflavorfest.com. And so they can go find tickets there for Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. You can check the Facebook event too.
I wasn't paying attention. Is there a VIP and a general?
Yeah, there's VIP in general. VIP, they get an extra hour early admission as well.
So at noon is VIP.
Noon is VIP.
General's at 1
p.m. is general admission, exactly.
Cool.
Yeah, we have a really exciting DJ. She's coming in from Israel, actually. Her name
Really?
is DJ Merav.
Oh, I'm excited now.
Global Beats. I know you'd be excited that we have a tribe member coming in for the very exciting.
Yeah.
She does
Right
global
between the
beats.
holidays,
I
too.
know,
This is
I
awesome.
know.
All right.
So she does like this really cool music where she blends like global beats and,
Yeah.
and sounds with like American music that we know the words to and can dance to. So
That's cool.
you can get that like, you know, when you're
I
drunk,
wonder if
you
I have-
sing the words to something you know,
Yeah.
but with some international
I
vibe.
wonder if I have her CD, like an old. I think I might have an old mix thing in my car. I have to go check and see if that's her or not.
The check, yeah.
But it's cool, like, because this is actually the day before Sukkot that we're going to be doing this, and I think that's kind of cool.
I think it's very exciting, absolutely.
So you really literally have an international flavor of food and of culture is going to
Oh
be
yeah,
there.
and of beer too, because you know everyone's trying to bring out their, you know, their Belgians, their saisons, their sours. You know,
Yeah.
I told all the different breweries it's the best chance to, you know, show off some of these different international styles that you make, and also for people to know that you can have a great Belgian beer right here in your backyard.
Yes, that's very true. So I'm excited about that. But tell people where they can find Stella Davina too. If they want to order you.
Oh, so
Your
you can get
coasters.
Stella Davina coasters online at StellaDavina.com. We go out to all the major beer fests. We'll be set up on Saturday at Global Flavor. You can find us after that. Let me tell you, Boulder City Art in the Park the first weekend of October if you have any listeners that are in the Vegas area. And then I'm going to be after that at Pine City Park in Santa Barbara on October 20th, as well as Burbank Beer Festival on October 20th. And then the last weekend of the month, I'll be at Village Venture in Claremont. It's a really, really, really big craft show that comes here every year. They get like over 100,000 shoppers. So
Cool.
every weekend in October, basically, you can find me somewhere if you need to do some Christmas shopping, pick up gifts, or you know, just come out and
Yeah.
find your favorite beer.
Or for Hanukkah or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, is there anything you want to say before I get to someone else and kind of bring you back about either Stella Davina or Global Flavor Fest? Is that it? I got it right.
Global Flavor, you got
Ooh, I
it.
got a Global Flavor.
Basically, I'm really excited. You guys should all come out and hang out soon. We'd like to see you this weekend. Global Flavor is taking place from 12 to 4 on September 22nd. You can get tickets online at globalflavorfest.com. Tell your friends, especially your friends that like dogs, beer, and wine, so they can meet some new friends and get ready to taste your way around the world.
Oh, and I'm going to just give you a little push as well. If you want to do custom stuff, or you have old labels or anything that, even your own artwork, then Sarah will make those custom for you too.
Oh yeah, you can send me your logo, send me, you know, wedding pictures. We do custom coasters of everything. And
Yeah.
baby shower coasters. We do a lot of people's like real estate logos, your name or whatever you want, we can put on a coaster.
That is so cool. So we're going to bring in Ryan, I think, right? Is that?
Ryan.
I think Ryan's going to come in, and he's the brewer here at I wanted to call it the other one, but Last Name Brewing. They used to be called something else.
Formerly Dale.
Formerly Dale Brothers. I don't think they're paying attention, so I'm going to tell Sarah to go get Ryan.
Go get the
Well, I'm
next
going to
guest.
I'm going to show you, if you're looking on camera and you guys can hear that, what's nice about being in a brewery is you can see those beautiful beers that we're going to do Andy next. That we can talk about. I don't know, we're doing Ryan or Andy. It's up to you guys.
I don't
really.
know.
But okay, we got Andy. So Andy, you were formerly known as Dale Brothers.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about that, or just skip it over and go right to what we're doing with Last Name now?
Oh my God, what can we talk about with Dale Brothers that
we
hasn't
can-
been said, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it hasn't been on my show, so I don't know
I'm
if you want.
sorry. I'm sorry we had to change
don't
the
know.
name. Yeah,
I-
I know
I
a lot
will-
of you are still sore
So
about that.
let's just say this. I know it was a big controversy. We don't have to get into all the details, but I was surprised you had to go. You guys, your last name is Dale,
Yes,
right?
it is.
You and your brother opened up a brewery, right?
Yep.
And you called it Dale Brothers.
Right.
But then there was another company that has a beer, Dale's Pale, right? I think that was what it was. That there was a conflict of confusion or interest. Or
There
something
was
like that.
some confusion. Yes.
Okay, so
Yes.
that's for people who don't know. And this is how many years ago?
Let's see. We ended up actually changing the name 2 years ago.
2 years.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
So 2 years ago, you guys decided to go with last name because Dale was your last name.
That's that had something to do with it. Yeah. My dad's last name and my grandfather's and my great
Okay.
father.
So you guys are like, it's the last name. Now you're the last name in brewing. So we'll put
Right.
this in a positive spin.
Yep,
Come on,
and-
jump on in here, my friend.
Sounds
so
good.
so tell me when did Dale Brothers or now Last Name Brewing
Yep.
Company, when did you guys open?
We opened, so my brother actually started the brewery, and he actually delivered his first keg in 2003 into Claremont, and was a sole proprietor for a number of years. And then I joined the business, and my wife joined the business in 2007.
Okay.
And then we started expanding from there. And then we were in a different facility back then, so we were in a little place down in another part of Upland.
Yeah.
And moved here in 2012.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we needed more space.
Tell people about the brewery here. You got a sizable beer garden outside the front door, which is really nice. And then you've got the nice tasting room area and overflow here, and then the brewery. So how many square feet do you have here?
We have 8,200 square feet total, and we probably have about 4,000 square feet of total tasting room area when we throw in the back. And actually, that's where a lot of people want to sit because that's where all the tanks are and where all the beer's being made.
And
so
you
can watch the brewers like walking around and doing stuff.
So we're out here at a high top, and there's the bar, but back there you got the picnic tables like you do out front. It's kind of just more of if you're in Europe, you're going to sit down with other people and hang out and have
more of a
time.
beer garden kind of feel to it. Yeah, but we got very lucky with the with our patio outside. Our landlord really wanted to work with us, and so they just let us take over this common area and put in a patio and we've got hops growing up the side of the building, and so
beautiful.
it's
They
been
got
a great arrangement.
They got to be at least 20, almost 30 feet tall.
They get to 30 feet tall. They crawl, let's see, it's a 22-foot roof, and they go up and over and onto the roof where I assume they perish from.
Oh, you don't harvest them at all?
We do, but you may be surprised, but this isn't a great region for growing hops.
I understand that.
And so there's only been 1 year where they were really usable.
You can use them as decoration.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
So I know that you were a home brewer first.
Yes, I was.
So you and your brother used to brew beer together?
We did, and as a matter of fact, our first ribbon came in 1990 or something like that at the Los Angeles County Fair.
That's awesome.
We made a plum mead that we had actually completely lost track of for like 2 years, and so therefore it was at its absolute best. Put it into competition and came home with a ribbon.
That's awesome.
And now my ribbon is a complete mess because I spilled beer on it when I was home brewing and with friends, and you know
that's the way it should be.
Yeah, exactly.
Frame it like that.
Home brewing is not it's not a neat business.
It's not a clean sport.
No, it isn't. No,
it's a tasty sport though.
It certainly is.
And it'd give you a workout for sure. So, you said your brother started the company first, and then you joined in. What was the impetus to jump from home brewer to professional brewing?
I think we always had dreams or aspirations, and we actually, during the first wave of microbrewing back in the 80s and 90s, we were actually looking at doing a brew pub at various locations, and I was actually living in Boston at that point. So we were looking at different locations in the Northeast and also in Southern California and everywhere in between. And so we kind of always had those aspirations. We talked about it. We almost did it a couple of times. And then, of course, the bottom fell out of that boom. And then...
I know how that is.
Yeah.
If people who are listening, you probably don't know, but I tried opening a brewery with a partner who's God rest his soul, is long since passed. But in 2006, we tried to open up a brewery.
Okay, gotcha.
And then the housing market put the kibosh on that.
Yeah, well, actually, we found that, the housing market going south, people got a little bit depressed, and actually it was great for sales.
It was great.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, if you were already in business.
Yeah,
but if you're trying to get money to open, small business went down after that,
People drink beer when they're happy, and they,
I agree. I tell people, I learned this from my dad, but also, I think, Rich Uncle, Poor Uncle, whatever, that guy, I can't remember his name. I think that basically they say whether it's booming or you're in a recession or a depression, people are always going to spend money for entertainment,
right,
for alcohol, and for transportation.
I think you can throw Ben and Jerry's on there too. Yeah,
yes,
ice cream. Yeah,
ice
there
cream.
we go. Yeah,
which is a good segue to that there's going to be a Pomona Queen ice cream.
There certainly is.
There is.
Or so I hear.
So are you drinking Pomona Queen?
I am.
So let's try that. I'm gonna pick it up.
Okay.
Now I'm gonna say this is a really nice light kind of. It's kind of a brownish amber color.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's been sitting here, so you don't see a head on my thing if you're watching this on YouTube. But it's got some nice. Kind of like.
See, I went right for the dive.
But I got some nice notes of toffee caramel on the top, and And you come in, oh, that's smooth. That's really nice.
Yeah.
So,
And
am I jumping the gun? Was it going to be Ryan that's telling us about Pomona Queen, or you are?
I can tell you about Pomona Queen if you want. But
Okay.
yeah, so this was actually the original beer. So my brother came up with this recipe, and
your brother's name?
Kurt Dale.
Kurt and Andy.
Yep.
Okay.
And this was his original recipe that he was making as a home brewer, and so we kind of had different ways of home brewing, and so he was more of a person that worked on recipes and tried to perfect them and do all that, whereas I was all over the place. You know, I see a recipe in a book, and some kind of weird porter or whatever, and that's the next beer I made. And so I was all over the map. Kurt worked on this one for years, and as a matter of fact, it was the first beer he tried to make when he actually went onto a professional system. But rather than being about 5% alcohol, his efficiencies went up dramatically.
Really?
And yes, and it ended up being like 9% or something
Wow.
like that. Yeah, that one didn't get sold.
Because you guys drank it.
Yeah,
You guys
exactly. It's more
Like,
like
oh,
shots.
drink that one.
Yeah, more like shots.
Was it part of the ABC? They were trying to hit an actual thing and for them to be able to sell
Oh
it?
no, it just ceased to be a Pomona Queen.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, when,
I got you. It became a different.
Yeah.
It became an imperial Pomona Queen.
It'd be a little warm.
Right? Okay.
Yeah.
I got you. So this actually started as a homebrew, and now it's like been one of your flagship. beers.
Oh, it is the flagship
the
beer.
flagship.
Yeah, and we're kind of weird in the whole Southern California scene, in that we really started making exclusively lager beers, and it really wasn't until we opened up our tasty room that it was like, you know what, we really need to start making some IPAs, because they're in such demand, and we need something from that.
So this is
that
truly
category.
This is truly an amber lager, then.
Certainly is. Yep.
Okay, so you're using the lager yeast because that's why it's so clean on the backside.
Yep. And actually, you know what? Why don't we get Ryan over here to talk about lager?
Yeah, Ryan, come jump in before we.
Come on
We won't get rid of Andy. We'll just have to jump in. So, I'm gonna ask while you're here. If we get into
Sorry about that wasn't an earthquake.
If you're watching,
Yeah.
what size system did you guys start in with Last Name?
4-barrel system.
4-barrel system. So what are you guys brewing on now?
Currently we're on a 10-barrel system.
10-barrel system. So that's a pretty big increase. So when you move places, you upsize in your.
Actually, we
Brewing, or?
kept pretty much the same brewing system that we had when we were down
Oh, really?
there. Yeah. As a matter of fact, we only had 12-foot ceilings at our old place,
Wow.
so we actually had to get our first 30-barrel tanks custom made to fit under the 12-foot ceiling.
Wow.
Yeah, and which looks kind of silly here, but oh well, with 22-foot ceilings, yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so you're brewing on a 10-barrel system. Correct. And your fermenters are 30 barrels, is that what you're saying?
They range from 10 to 30. We have 160 barrel fermenter.
So you're doing several brews to be able to fill that up.
Correct. Yeah, we have to do 3 for the 30 barrels and 6 to fill the.
You do that in one day or 2 days?
We'll do the 30 in 2 days.
Yep.
And the 60 takes us 3 days.
Wow. Yeah. That's a lot of work. So even though this started with Kurt, who's not here today, tell us on your perception, or if you think I was right, on what's coming through with the flavor profile on Pomona Queen.
I think you hit it on the nail there. It's just toffee. There's a bit of nuttiness.
Yeah.
Victory malt really is the
Oh, is that what it
shiny
is?
malt. Yeah.
Oh, man,
Victory,
beautiful.
A little bit of crystal.
Gives it
This
some
lager.
mouthfeel.
There's no Cara or anything in here?
There's some carapils in there just to give it a little bit of body and retention.
Yep.
That's about it.
Sweet.
There's lots of crystal malt. We do crystal 60 in there.
So let's get into how did the name come about for Pomona Queen?
So Pomona Queen goes back a little ways. So, and I think it's all kind of based on, the competitions they used to have with the basically the Orange Queen. She'd be in like a bathing suit or whatever, and this was like way back. But if you look up at our wall,
At the wall, let's see.
Okay,
I can move this.
No, just a second. I
No,
don't see her.
it's
I
not
don't see her. Anyway,
That's okay.
original-
Spencer's going to bring something over, probably, I think.
Okay, the original
maybe not.
Pomona Queen that we can find is actually an orange crate label from the 1920s.
Oh, nice.
And I think that's what Spencer's trying to find. If we find it, we'll show it.
Yes.
And then it's also on some of our coasters. And
You can hear that we are definitely in a flight pattern here as well.
Oh yeah, Cable Airport. And then a novel was written by a gentleman named Kem Nunn called Pomona Queen. It actually has the Orange Crate label on the front of it. It's very, very funny, but very, very dark. And it actually takes place in Pomona. And so they're going up and down Gary Avenue.
Oh, awesome!
And,
Spencer's going to hand me the picture. So
there we go. There's the Orange Crate label.
If you guys want to see it, then you want to go watch this again on YouTube. You can see the Pomona Queen. Yeah, she looks. I mean, it's like 1920s ish.
Yeah, she's a flapper.
She's a flapper, but she's got kind of a like, I don't know. It's a little of a dark, menacing look on her.
You got that right.
Yeah. You know, it's not just the eyeliner. She looks like she could have done it. I'm not sure. But anyway, so yeah, go ahead and pass that in. I'm gonna show you guys also the if you want to get the 6-pack.
There it is.
They have the 6-pack. I'll just set that down. That's a nice little prize. Maybe I'll take it home. Yeah, that's not an earthquake again.
Yeah, so at any rate, yeah, that was a novel, and then a friend of ours who's in a band called the Claremont Voodoo Society. He writes their songs. He wrote a song called Pomona Queen, which really wasn't even loosely based on the novel.
Okay.
And then my brother asked if he could name the song or his beer after that song.
Okay.
So it's kind of a beer named after a song, named after a novel, named after an Orange Crate label. And by the way, there's also a bed frame now called Pomona Queen. I don't know what that's all about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hopefully it makes you sleep.
Yeah.
Better.
If the Pomona, if the beer
Not if
doesn't
you're looking
work,
at that picture, maybe. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No, she's very cute, but that was a menacing kind of like, who done it, I did it thing. So that's cool. So that's how we got into Pomona Queen, and they're going to be at the Global Flavor Fest. They're going to be making that into an ice cream.
Right. And actually, you know what? Spencer probably knows more about that.
Yeah. Okay. We'll jump in and we'll jump Spencer in for a second.
Okay.
While Andy steps out for a second, and he can tell us about that. I'm going to get you, Ryan. You can stay here close.
Okay.
I'm going to get to you.
Don't go too far away.
So Spencer, tell us. I know I'm jumping around on this thing.
Yeah.
But tell us about the ice cream.
Yeah.
And how that got kind of set up.
Well, it actually kind of got set up last minute. His name's Steve from, I don't even have the name of this ice cream
Okay, we'll
company,
find
which
out about the ice cream
Yeah.
company here in a second. But basically, they reached out to you and said, "Hey, can we come and do an ice cream?"
Yeah.
And you said, "Okay, as long as it's with our beer."
Pretty much,
Or-
yeah. So we're just gonna
like
we
it.
supply the beer, they make the ice cream, and that's how it's gonna
So
go.
are they doing on site where they use the I forget the not nitro the cold stuff. What is that called?
Nitrous.
Is it nitrous?
frozen
What is that?
version.
Golly, geez.
No, I think they're
dry ice. It's dry ice.
No, I think
Golly,
they're making it beforehand, and they're bringing
Oh, they are,
already
okay.
pre-mixed, ready to go, and ready to rock with whatever else they have in.
geez. So they're just trying to get a keg and say we're going to make some ice cream, but we're going to drink a lot of this in the background. This is really tasty.
Yeah, so they asked for like 64 ounces, and that makes a couple gallons of ice cream, and that's
That's not that much.
yeah.
Okay, they should ask for more.
I know, right? They
Drink it.
would have given it.
They're gonna have some on Saturday.
Yeah.
So since we're back, I'm gonna get to Ryan in a second with
Yeah.
brewing, but since we're back to Global Flavor Fest and the ice cream, what else do you want to say about this coming together and how Last Name? I know that Sarah said she reached out to you guys, but you guys have basically said, yeah, we're on board and let's make this happen.
Yeah. So our big involvement with it is going to be the Pomona Queen Lounge. I don't know, did Andy already talk about that?
No, please.
Okay, so
Pomona Queen, the beer, and the
yeah,
lounge. Let's
so
talk about
Pomona
it.
Queen Lounge. It's a one-time pop-up speakeasy. Speakeasy Lounge. We're going to be taking over a storefront in downtown Pomona, and we'll be decorating it all with the Pomona Queen logo, Pomona Queen posters, and we'll have not just Pomona Queen, we'll have our Ripley Rye Pale, where I'll talk about in a minute,
Okay.
and a couple of other beers that we're still deciding which ones we're going to bring, and that'll all be paired with food that'll be prepared by, or they'll be made by a local chef, who's going to be preparing food that kind of pairs with our beer. And it'll be pretty sick. It's the first time I've ever done anything like this, so we're pretty excited to make this happen.
So you guys are really promoting Pomona Queen
Yeah.
at the Global Flavor Fest.
Yeah.
So, I just need to hear a little bit more about this pop-up speakeasy. Is it going to be at the Global Flavor? This is afterwards?
No, it'll be at the festival. The festival's going to be right in downtown Pomona and along First Street. And so we're taking over a storefront that's right on First Street.
Ah,
and
okay.
so it'll be connected to the event. So the rest of it will be outside in tents, and we'll be inside in a nice little air
So
conditioned.
that's what I wasn't getting. So I can actually leave the festival without leaving the festival and sneak into a pop-up speakeasy and get some nice little drinky drink on.
Yeah, and it'll, like I said, it'll be one of the only air-conditioned spaces probably, so it'll be a good spot to hang out.
That's nice. Okay, so I wasn't quite getting that.
Yeah.
So we've got the Pomona Queen speakeasy.
Yeah.
We've got the Pomona Queen beer, obviously.
Yep.
And then the Pomona Queen ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I'll be kind of connected.
Good. And it's the downtown historic Pomona, so it makes sense. Okay. Sweet. So, is there anything specific that we should look forward to, a drink or something we should look forward into, in the speakeasy?
Speakeasy, well, obviously Pomona Queen, but like I said, we're also going to be bringing out Ripley, which is our new rye pale ale.
Okay, we're gonna. Ryan's gonna talk about
Ryan's
that in a
going to talk
second.
more about that in a minute, but
Okay.
that'll
Is there
be there.
any other drink specialty? Are they making any beer cocktails, which I hope they're going to make? And if not, I'm inspiring that right now.
Well, that's a good idea. We'll talk about that. I'll talk to Sarah about it.
I will talk about that then.
Yeah.
So we need to do that. So let me jump Ryan in here.
Yeah.
And we'll get you back. I want Ryan to jump in here and talk about this beer since as we're getting the earthquake. If you're watching this YouTube again, I didn't realize this table wasn't steady when we started the video. We need a shim underneath, but you can see this. So this is the Ripley.
That's right.
I want to say, believe it or hop. Ripley's Believe It or Not.
No,
Come on, that was a great pun. Anyways,
It's in space. No one can serve you beer. It's an aliens reference.
okay, it's an alien reference.
Sort of an alien.
So this is an alien beer that I want to put in my mouth. So that one's right here. Let me. They're supposed to be probing us and stuff, right? If they're taking us.
I don't wanna get into the details.
We won't get into those details. So tell us about Ripley and the inspiration.
Well, Ripley is a rye pale ale, just in the most classic sense.
Oh man, the spice in there. I
Yeah,
get it.
you get the spice. I used a real classic Cascade hop in it just to give it that real classic flavor. The inspiration really came from there's a brewery out in Arizona. Joseph James made a rye pale ale that just blew me away, and I was like, I'm gonna make one of those. So eventually, I got around to making a recipe, and here it is.
Okay, it's that simple.
Yeah, it's so
the aliens
simple.
took him up. He came back and he made a beer. That's what happened. So
I was just trying to figure out a cool name. I've been sitting on Ripley for a while. I was like, screw it. Let's
was it the style of beer or just the name or both?
It was the name. I've been hanging on to the name.
Okay.
Just waiting for the right beer at the right time.
So what inspired you with the hop profile and then rye and just? I mean, I can tell you what I'm getting. I get those nice spice notes.
Yeah.
It's definitely hoppy.
I really just wanted to make a really classic
Kind of like
beer.
a resiny dankness going on in there.
Yeah. There's a lot of hops packed in here. There's actually, I think, about 4 pounds per barrel, which is pretty high for a pale ale. And it's all on the back end, so you don't get too much bitterness. You just get a lot of flavor profile.
Oh man, the aromas.
And that aroma, and that rye malt comes through.
And it's got a beautiful. I mean, honestly,
It's unfiltered,
you can,
too.
I know, but you can almost think that was a lager if you're looking at it and
If
you
you
didn't
were
know
looking at it
any
and
better.
exactly.
And look at the legs on that glass too. The lacings.
Oh yeah.
The lacing that goes up on that is beautiful.
Thank you.
I mean, so I'm really enjoying that. That's definitely
I'm glad you like
a
it.
nice thing for a hophead like me.
It's definitely a hophead's favorite. Yeah. I was really surprised. We actually made it just as a one-off to do something for our festival that we do in January, our anniversary party.
Yeah.
And I did 3 beers that day. I think I did a Belgian style hazy IPA and this and something else I can't remember. But this turned out to be the most popular thing, and ended up
Surprise, surprise.
And now it's in cans. We've got shirts. We've got glasses coming. Like
Really?
it's been really cool.
I'm off camera because my nose is running.
I didn't expect a rye IPA or rye pale ale to become our next popular beer. So
I think
That was pretty
I think
cool.
rye is going to come back in. I've always liked rye. I think also the fact that you get a lot of rye whiskeys are popular now. So I think that people are used to rye where they used to not be. I mean, it was a point where people were really like, "What's rye? I don't know what rye is." They would have that flavor, and it's got a distinct flavor profile
Yeah.
since it's spice.
It's very
oriented.
spicy, yeah, and
You
it's not.
And when you put that with the
super
hops and you get that kind of resin thickness, I think people obviously it takes people a while to become a hophead or really appreciate and enjoy IPAs sometimes.
Right,
too.
exactly. And once they do, they search out all the different kinds of IPAs, and a rye IPA I would say is like on the least common end of the spectrum.
I got
There's
you.
not too many of them out there. There's a few around here, but so I think they saw rye and they went crazy. Let's try it.
Yeah.
What is it?
Oh no, I got rye in my eye because it's an alien thing. So where did you come up with the whole space part of that? I mean, what
I
was
grew
that
up.
about?
You know what? I grew up and my.
We need to get like a shim under this table here.
My grandparents were like obsessed with sci-fi. They were obsessed with Star Trek, Star Wars, all that crazy stuff, Twilight Zone, and Aliens. So
And that made a difference.
I just grew up. Well,
I grew up with sci-fi, Star Wars, Star Trek, all that kind of stuff.
A
So
lot of my beer names you'll notice are pop culture references. So I'm usually looking for a pop culture reference
Okay.
when I name a beer.
Cool.
I think it makes it fun and relatable.
well, I mean, most of us
it
grew
gives
up
us
with that. And
more
we like beer, and
personality.
you just be
Yeah.
able to enjoy it, right?
Sure, and you can take a look and see, oh, the brewer's into, whatever that reference is. So
Yeah.
I think it just gives us personality and yeah.
Cool. So I'm going to ask you, did you start as a home brewer?
No,
No. How'd you get into brewing?
I kind of fell into it. I was working as a restaurant manager at a brew pub not far from here in Rancho Cucamonga. And I became good friends with the head brewer there. He said, hey, on your day off, you want to come in and help me clean or whatever? I said, sure. And yeah, the rest is history. About 6 months later, I got hired here, and that was 7 years ago. So,
Wow.
yeah, that's pretty much.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
You look so young. I wasn't even
I
guessing.
know.
All right. We have this good genes because I'm the same
You got
here.
great genes, yeah.
All right. Different color genes because they're alien inspired with the hops. So, so basically, then you just love your job. You just like making beer and talking about beer.
I didn't know. Well, I never thought about it as something that you could do as an occupation.
Yeah.
I was ready to be a restaurant manager for the rest of my life. I was
Yeah.
like, I'm making decent money doing.
Do you
that.
miss that?
No.
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 Because you love making beer.
I love making beer, and also I hate service industry stuff.
Oh, okay. So you're really a back of the house in the fact that you're making products. So you're not even. I don't even say back of the house, front of the house. You're basically it's the
Sure.
side. I always
And
tell
there's-
people at the breweries, especially if there's food, but when there's a tasting room, there's a front of house, there's a back of house, and then there's a production side.
Sure.
And you're in the production side.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. I run the production.
Yeah. And so you guys obviously do beer here in house with a tasting room, and you can take cans and stuff. You guys do production and sell in distribution as well.
Yes, correct. Everything that we produce is on premises.
Yeah.
And we do have a lot of bar and restaurant accounts, things like that.
Yeah. So I know it's a
stores.
10-barrel system. You got how many fermenters?
Oh, geez, we've got, let's see, 14?
14 fermenters.
14 fermenters. We have 6 10 barrels. We've got 7 30 barrels and 1.
So I know this is a cold box behind us, and it's
Correct.
also your bar. But how big is the cold box?
I don't
Can
know
you
the
fit in there?
dimensions of it.
Do you have 2 cold boxes or just the one?
No, this is just the one. We're constantly fighting for space.
I got you. That's what I figured. 'Cause
Luckily,
that's a
we've got
nice size, but it's not
yeah,
giant.
We've got a lot of bright tank space. Usually it's not enough, but we get by.
I got you.
We have to be very careful about what we keg and when we keg it.
Cool.
Otherwise, we run out of space.
Well, obviously you've been here long enough in 7 years that you saw this whole patio come together and all this kind of thing.